How the fuck is the Messiah and Sir Ramos going to play together in the same team? It's fucking crazy.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Well,
They hate each other.
they do hate each other, but half that squad hates each other. I mean, they just grab anybody.
That's true.
I mean,
Old Poch,
if you have a look,
Pochettino will just bring them together.
but I've got the transfer centre up now, and if you have a look, I mean, it's not a done deal that Messi's gone. For starters, I mean, he's having a press conference at 11 today, so what that is on our time, I don't know. But he's having a press conference saying, presuming pretty much that he's leaving, but there's an article here that says, Poch gives Messi update. Pochettino gave an update. His name is associated with different clubs. There are plenty of rumours. We will see what happens in the coming days. The players are staying
Where's he going to
focused.
play? Like,
So-
where the fuck do you fit him in?
I mean,
See you later, Angel, I suppose.
well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's going to be Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, you would imagine. But how else?
Yeah.
I mean,
Who's going to play in the middle?
you're
Messi,
not going
Messiah.
to play Icardi. I mean, he played today.
See you later, Maldo.
He's out of there for sure. You'd have to imagine. But yeah, they've got so much option. You'd bank them on winning the Champions League for
They
sure.
sell one.
No, they have to.
Surely
they
they're
don't
selling
need to.
someone.
But see, it's all kind of linked together because Barca are, well, they used to be. I think they still are. They're sponsored by Qatar Airways, and like the next World Cup's in Qatar. The people that own PSG are owned by Qataris. All that type of stuff. I'm just wondering if it was all kind of linked together. That maybe he was planned to go there. You know what I mean? I don't know. I could be wrong, but. It's interesting. Like Barca are really in a bad spot now. Like they need to sell
I
it.
don't know. And they're broke.
They are broke. Well, they're
What
not
about
broke.
Romelu.
They're-
Romelu going to Chelsea. That's unbelievable. 97.5 million.
Yeah, massive. He's on that's here. Yeah, club record 97.5. 150 million.
5 million
euros.
less than Grealish.
Basically,
Ridiculous.
And I would say he's 10 times
How's
better.
Grealish worth $100 million? Stop it.
Well, we had this conversation the other day. It's just English players are so overpriced. It's ridiculous. 100 million for him. Harry Maguire was 80. James Maddison.
Maguire.
Yeah. And I don't think Harry Maguire is bad, but he's definitely not 80 million. He's worth more than Van Dijk. It's crazy.
He's not better than Varane.
He's not better than Varane. Varane's not even actually a done deal yet. So
Yeah, I know. It's all madness,
on
this stuff.
here, it's got. So Solskjaer talked about it in their friendly after they fucking smashed Everton.
We beat Norwich today. We beat Norwich 3-0. Matt Ritchie puts one in. You little beauty.
Good science, mate. Good science. But yeah, back to that Varane. He's isolated at the moment. He's waiting for his visas. So unfortunately, it's taken a few more days than expected. We're going to follow protocols and the rules. It's taken a few more days than we hoped for. So he hasn't even technically signed for Man United yet. You would imagine it's going to go through, but technically he's not even there. So transfer window's been crazy because with COVID, you wouldn't have thought that this much money would be thrown
Where are they
around.
getting the money? Like, where does this money come from?
Don't know, especially with no bums on seats. It's odd. But I watched a couple of championship games this morning, and it's so good to see fans back. Oh my god!
Yeah. Oh mate, look, I watched the people at St James. They're going ballistic.
Yes, mate, you're going to see a few crazy people. You're going to see some streakers.
Barcelona have announced that Messiah is leaving, so he's going to go somewhere. Imagine if he just retired. Maybe see you boys. I'm done.
He's won enough,
See ya.
Yeah,
Mate, he's done everything.
He has.
I'm out. For a bloke who couldn't grow and he had no growth hormone in his body.
Yeah, he had to take HGH, mate. He had to get the human growth hormone into him. He
didn't even get a belly from it. You know those big muscly blokes get those like human growth hormone bellies?
Yeah, it didn't happen to him. He's just
Not at all.
a goat.
He just got magneto feet.
Basically, yeah, the ball's stuck to him. But it's such a puzzling one, man, because it's like because there's no transfer fees involved, and he's going on a free, and they haven't been able to re-sign him. It's so mind-boggling. People can't figure out why it's happening. But basically, Barca can't afford. So the Liga have come out and said, you're not allowed to have that wage bill. It is ridiculous. Like we can't.
Too much.
We're not letting that happen. Like there's a certain
What's
amount.
he on? 750 or something, or 650?
I mean, we could have a look at it.
I think it's 750.
It would have to be something ridiculous in terms of euros. Yeah, I'd say.
Imagine being on 750 million euro or 750,000 euros a week.
Yeah, it'd have to be something crazy like that. I know that he's on like 500 grand, like
That's an
500,000
outrage,
pounds. But yeah, they basically can't afford him. So they were up to. They either had a decision to sell pretty much half their team, or get rid of Messi. And the Liga have come out and said, well, because they approached him with a deal and he said yes, and the Liga put a ban on and said no, it's not happening.
No,
and now
not a chance.
They're forced to sell. So I mean, or get rid of him. It's fucking crazy. Like now, he always stayed at Barca his whole career. Now he's moving. It's fucking insanity to me. It's wild.
I can't really picture him in another uniform.
Nor can I. I can't see it either.
I
but
really can't picture him in anything outside of like Barca. It doesn't suit him to be in anything else.
Well, that's how that's the only way we know him. And like, but you know, if he leaves, which it looks like he will, now all the questions are going to be answered. Like, can he make it in another league? Does he? You know, he's going to PSG, so it's not.
If he's
not
going
exactly
to France, he's not.
It's
really
not exactly a hard
League,
one, is it? But like, you know,
going to eat baguettes and fucking snails. He's not going to be getting bashed in freezing cold.
He's going to another farmers league, so you know, you'd expect him to score 40 goals plus. But
imagine if he gets there in Monaco, like wipe the floor.
Well, Lille won.
Or like Leon, or someone just wipes the floor.
Lille won it last year, didn't they? So I mean, they've still kept a lot of their players, but it's interesting. It's a massive topic, and wherever he goes, you could almost bank they're going to be favourites for the Champions League. And I mean, as we
do you know what I love? Do you know what I would love him? I just absolutely adore it if he went to Real. I know he never will.
He never will.
I would just. I would pass out with joy if he went to Real.
Did you see? There was a little video of Sean Dyche.
I don't even like Real. I prefer Barcelona over Real, but I think it would be funny if he went there.
I just don't like any La Liga teams. I think the Spanish government just saves them all the time. And
if you were to pick one, La Liga, who would you pick? I like Atletico just because I like the
to follow.
And I think Simeone's a fucking lunatic. I like he just looks like a mad bastard.
Absolutely Atletico, because they're underdogs of their own city. You know, I'd say Atletico. I've always
they just rip him.
I've always kind of liked Valencia. Like I kind of like, Rafa was at Valencia and before he came to Liverpool, so I kind of have always kind of liked what they do. But yeah, I mean, Atletico, Suarez has played there, and that Torres come from there, so there's always a bit of a Liverpool connection there. And now there's even more of a link because potentially we might get Saul, but I
like Saul.
If we get him,
I like him.
I
like him a lot. He reminds me of like a new version of Fabregas. He's just a bit of a. I don't know. He's a good looking rooster. He's real technical. Like, you know what I mean? Like they've just got that suave swagger about him. Some of those Spanish blokes.
Well, he broke onto the scene real early, and
he's not that young either. What's he, about 28 or 29?
No. He's quite young. I think he's about 24.
Is he
25.
still young?
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of? No, I'm thinking of Sale. He looks. I know the guy. I know exactly who he is. I bought him.
It's because he broke onto the scene real early, and I wouldn't say he's dipped, but like. He hasn't really exploded from when he really came onto the scene at the start. So, but I'd love him, and we need another midfielder because we lost Wijnaldum, so we need someone to replace it. But getting on. Speaking of Wijnaldum, I mean, we got to go through the Premier League and talk about our predictions, mate. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot happening. A lot's been going down.
Hit me with. Go bottom to top. Start at the arse.
So I'm thinking if we go from 20 to we'll go from 20 to 10, and we'll go our bottom half of the table, and we'll see what we think. So I'm going to lay them out basically from 20 to 10, and then I'll talk about each of them individually. So I've got from 20 to 10 is I've got Watford rock bottom, Brentford 19th, Burnley 18th, Norwich 17th, 16th Brighton, 15th Newcastle, Palace 14th. Yeah, you're surviving in my books.
Thank you.
Wolves in 13th, Southampton 12th, Aston Villa to finish 11th, and then I think Everton will finish 10th. I don't think they're going to be that great. So that's my 10.
I'm fairly similar. I've got the dirty old bees at 20th. The first time up, first time gone. See you later. Elton John's favourite club, Watford 19, out the door. Ugh. Newcastle gone. I've got them at 18. They make me sick. They've bought no one.
You can't put your own team down.
Well, I'm going to have to, mate, because Steve Bruce is a dead shit. We've bought nobody.
His big fat head.
We won today against Norwich, but we big whoop. Hopefully, we're going to keep Joe Willock. Andy Carroll's gone. Big whoop. Like we're not going to. We barely held ourselves up last year. It was all off the back of St. Maximum.
Yes.
And he's not. There's no way he's going to stay around. He's too good. 17 Norwich, 16 Brighton, 15 Burnley, 14 Southampton, those rich bastards. 13 Palace, 12 the Hammers, 11 Villa. That might even change now with Grealish gone, but they've got 100 million in the bank, so
that's right. You would expect them to spend it, but I think they spent a little bit of it already. Yep.
Leeds, I've got coming in at 10th. Well, I quite like Leeds because I like them.
Okay. So a couple of differences I know. Say you got the Hammers in 12th. I've got them in the top 10. So that's a bit different. We've both got Norwich in 17th. I think Norwich will avoid the drop. I just think they're a pretty good side. I mean, the guy
Rashid is a good pickup.
It's a big pickup, and their coach. They flew in the championship too. Like they were awesome in the championship. That Cantwell for them. He's a superstar.
Did Villa get him? So Villa picked him up.
No, Villa haven't picked him up.
That is it. Todd Cantwell from Norwich.
Yeah.
That Villa's trying to buy him.
I imagine they're probably trying to buy him. Yeah, but nothing's been done yet. But yeah, so I think they're a really good side. I have Burnley going down.
Billy Gilmore on loan as well from Chelsea. That Scottish bloke. He's a weapon.
Yes, mate. So they're going to be good, I think. And I've got Burnley in 18th. I mean, I know you got Newcastle in 18th. You probably got that more out of being scared. But Burnley in 18th for me.
I had the same fear last year. I was terrified last year.
Yeah, you were terrified, and then they made that run.
We just went on a run. That's right. A great run.
Yeah, you beat us. Well, no, you didn't beat us, but you should have beat us. You got that draw.
Ashley Young might be going back to Villa.
He has gone back to Villa.
Oh, he has gone back.
Mm-hmm.
So he has signed with them.
Yeah, he went on a free.
Jesus.
So, yeah, it's interesting.
On a free, but he's old, though. How old is he now?
I think he's like 36, 37. So his best years are behind him. But he started at Watford, but his best times were really at Villa. So he's probably going back
What do you reckon?
To shut the gate.
How many points? What do you reckon Watford are getting pumped on? What do you reckon they're getting relegated with?
Well, I've got 20. Yeah, I've got them at 20. You've got them at 19th. But I
what do you reckon they're going out with?
I mean, the record's 11. I don't think they'll be that bad. I'll say 17. I don't think they're going to get a great. I don't think they're going to get a great amount of points. They haven't really signed anyone. I just don't
signed
see
Emmanuel Dennis, that Nigerian fella. They got him from Bruges. He's pretty good.
Watford kind of come up and they kind of don't do much, and then they go back down. And
they signed Danny Rose.
Well,
the old Tottenham outcast.
That says it all.
He was Did you watch the Tottenham like All or Nothing on Prime? Because he was one sour hombre on that show, man.
Well, he was thinks he's the world's greatest left back, but
filthy.
No one from Tottenham is the world's greatest anything.
No. Well, I agree. I reckon Brentford, the Bees, the poor old Bumbles, they're going to get pumped out and they're going to go out on... I reckon they're going to win 3 games. What's that, 9? And I reckon they'll get 8 draws, so I reckon they're going on 17. Is that what you said as well?
Yeah, well, I've got them at 19th, but I said Watford on 17 points, yeah. But
yeah, I'm going to get Brentford going on 17.
Look, the reason why I've got Brentford at staying... Well, they're going down in my eyes, but they're not going rock bottom, is because... I think that they'll just have a little bit to play for. Like, first year up, haven't been in the Premiership before. I think they'll just catch a few. I think they'll just catch a few teams by surprise, and I think that they'll be up for it and they'll get a couple wins. I don't think they're gonna. I think eventually they'll go down.
They have a mad dude manager. Remember that when Blackpool come up a few years ago and they had that real mad dude manager.
Ian Holloway.
Oh, he was a mad guy. Who's Brentford's manager? Is he anyone like that, or is he just sort of a run of the mill fella?
Let's have a look. Thomas Frank, mate.
I've never heard of him.
Let's have a little brief look on him. Thomas Frank, Danish professional football coach.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So, yeah.
Poor old Brighton Hove, though. They 50 million for Ben White for Brighton. Geez, they've done well.
50 million for Ben White, but, they'll stay up just. They're a decent team. Like, under Graham Potter, they played pretty well last year. They actually got some wins, and a lot of games I watched them. I watched them play against Man U at home, and they lost 3-2, but they should have won. Like they played a lot of games like that where if they just had a bit more calmness around the team and stuff like that, just knowing how to seal the deal and shut the games out and just be a bit more calm, and a bit like how England weren't in the Euro 2021 final. Like, they just need to keep the ball for a little bit and stuff like that. I think they'll learn from that.
And they
did
shit the bed.
They did.
Absolutely shit the bed.
They did, mate. They did.
Ben White just looks like a poor man's John Stones.
Well, I mean,
like physically, he's like a poor man John Stones.
He's an alright centre back, but as we were talking before about Grealish and bloody Maguire, they're just overpriced. Every English player is overpriced, and they're not worth what they are. It's just ridiculous. So
I agree.
But we'll see. But yes, that's my. If we round out again, we got Watford, Brentford, Burnley, Norwich, Brighton, Newcastle, Palace, Wolves, Southampton, Villa, Everton. I think the Wolves could fall even further now that they're trying to get rid of friggin'.
Well, they've got rid of Patricio. Adama's moving somewhere. Well, yeah, they signed Trincao.
That's the talks of. Yes, they have signed Trincao. Yes, there is talks of Adama going, but I don't know if.
You don't reckon he'll go?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'm not too sure.
He's muscular, isn't he? That man is not built to play football. He is built to throw shot puts or do 1,000 squats a day. That is one enormous Spaniard.
Well, I think his speed too. It's really the combination of his speed and his power. It's scary. But he reckons he doesn't do weight training. I mean, if that's a lie, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, right. And I don't eat cheeseburgers. Fair
exactly. Enough. That guy's he's doing some chest press. You know what I'm saying?
Mate, he's a monster. He wears the little tight shorts too. That's what I love him.
He makes himself look massive. So.
I always try and get him in FIFA because he stands out so much with his big, with the blonde top on and his little shorts and his real tight sleeves.
Yeah,
he's a mad dude.
Yeah, FIFA though they're unrealistic because they got him the shooting and he's just terrible and But he's a weapon.
He couldn't put foot to ball.
He's a scary bloke.
He is.
It's not someone I'd want to walk into in a dark alley. Let's put it that way.
No, stuff that. No chance.
So, you've got the Hammers in 12th, mate. Discuss.
Yes, I do.
Because I've got them in the top 10, and I think they'll be pretty decent. But
they purely annoy me ever since I watched Green Street Hooligans and fucking Frodo Baggins started going for them. And I thought, you know what, you weak little piece of shit, I would beat the piss out of you. I don't care how tough you think you are with your tough mates. You can shove your hammers up your ass now. That's when they started annoying me.
Look, I mean, they're not my favourite either, but no team in London is. But
no.
I think they'll be a bit better than... I think they'll be in the top 10.
Why are they so popular in Australia? It's there's two teams that people go for in Australia, West Ham and fucking Liverpool. That's it.
Probably because of that movie. It did get a lot of fans. But I think I can understand why you're putting them in 12th. They're playing in the Europa League this year, and they haven't really signed too many players. They've kept.
That's why I've got them in 12th though, because I don't reckon they're going to have the legs to bash out an FA Cup, a Europa League, a Carabao, and a Premier League campaign and stick it up in all of them. They're either going to, if they get knocked out real early, if they get knocked out of the cups early, then they'll probably finish top 10. But I think they might go a little bit deep into the Europa. Not like deep, but I think they'll make it through the group stage. They'll get into the knockout stage, and then they'll be knackered for the arse end of the year, and they'll have nothing left in the tank.
Well, I can understand. I can understand where you're coming from, and I can see it. And I don't think that they will have a great season. I've got them in 9th, so once I go through my top 10, I've actually got them in 9th. So I don't think they'll finish in Europa League spots or in European spots this year, due to being in Europa League. But my other big thing around it is that they haven't really signed anyone, so they haven't really pushed on. They probably need another striker. They got that Ben Rama actually. They got Ben Rama from Brentford.
Saeed.
Yes. Now
his name's Said Ben Rama. What a mad name.
Yeah. Now that's the only player that they've got, and he does look good, but just due to Europa League and things like that, and other teams improving around them, I'm not entirely 100%. Sure.
100%.
And I think they'll want to make an impression in the Europa League. They haven't been in it for a few years at least. At least last time they were in it was when they finished 6th, I think, a few years back.
Absolutely.
So I think they'll put all their eggs in that basket, so to speak. But I've got them in 9th, just rounding out my top 10. So just before I get into my top 4, because we'll leave the top 4 for obviously our big talking point. But so I'm going to go from 9 to 5. So from 9...
Hang on, let me ask you a quick question. Who do you think is going to win the FA Cup / Carabao Cup? Who do you reckon is going to win it?
Well, Carabao...
The best cup there is and the most pointless cup in the world.
Yeah, so the most the most prestigious cup, really, FA Cup. If you want to
do that one second, because that's the one.
Yes, that's the one that matters.
The other dog.
But the Carabao Cup,
you don't even win any money on FIFA for it. You get like 120,000.
You don't get much money for it in real life.
It's
but
shit.
I'm just gonna have to choose City just because they're the team that have bloody 100 players and they can just
absolutely
rotate.
City too.
They can just rotate.
You pay
they don't care.
100 million for Grealish. They don't care. Exactly. They've got blokes just sitting there.
I tell you what's going to happen with Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish has moved to Man City to play in Carabao Cup finals. That's all he's doing because he ain't playing.
You don't reckon he's playing Prem?
No. He'll play a few, but if they're fully fit now, De Bruyne.
There's no way he's not playing Prem. He was the best player for England.
In
a losing campaign, he was the best player.
Hear me out.
For England.
I think that it depends on how they play, and it depends on how Pep wants to set them up and the structure. Because if De Bruyne is fit, and that's the big if.
Yeah.
If De Bruyne is fit, I'm saying right here, right now, that Grealish is not playing. He's not playing a lot of games. I know he's worth 100 million, and you would probably say that he should play because he's 100 million, so they're going to have to play him. But he's got Phil Foden, who, in my eyes, I think Phil Foden is better.
Shit haircut, great player.
Than Jack Grealish, but that's just my call. I think he's better. I think De Bruyne is in there, and then, who are they going to play on the right and the left? So they're going to probably still going to play Raheem Sterling, but he's not really favoured under Pep at the moment. He didn't play that much last year. And then Mahrez is going to float in. Bernardo Silva's going to float in. So he's going to rotate them all. He's not going to play every game. That's my thing. And so he'll be playing.
But he probably shouldn't anyway, because how old is he? 30?
Who's that?
I reckon he'll play lower half of the Prem League games. Like he'll play the dead shits, and he'll play a shitload of cup games.
So you think
I don't think he'll play Champions League.
Jack Grealish?
Yeah.
He's still young, mate. He's not 30.
He's 30, isn't he?
No, he's very young. Very young.
I thought he was 30. Why do I think everyone's so old?
Because this is the thing with football, right? Because they come out when they're 16, 17. You see them for so long. And so you think, they've been around forever. And you check their age, they're only like 24. So...
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I just don't think he's going to play a lot of games. So I think Man City, they're going to win the Carabao Cup. That's my pick. Your pick, Man City?
Absolutely City. City as well, 100%.
Absolutely, me too. Because I don't think any other
City
club gives a shit about it, and they'll just throw whoever at it.
FA Cup, but it's a fair cup to win, because then you just keep throwing them in the trophy cabinet.
That's it. I mean, they've won the last 3 or 4 in a row, so clearly they're the only ones that give a shit.
FA Cup, I reckon. Yeah, exactly. They are the only ones who give a flying fuck a ton. FA Cup, I've got United. I've got United as a lock to win the FA Cup this year.
You think they're going to win a trophy under Ollie?
Absolutely. I absolutely think, and I think they're going to win it convincingly.
Well,
I think they're going to throw all their eggs in the FA Cup basket so that they can get something under Ollie, so that he doesn't get sacked.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. But the FA Cup is the last game of the season, so I mean, he could be gone before then. Who knows?
That's true, but it's a big dog. Like, if you're going to win a cup, you don't. It's the best cup in the universe.
Well, I mean,
imagine drinking imagine having a beer out of that cup.
It's
imagine winning it, and you sit there and just knocking a couple of bottles of champagne or a couple of Great Northerns into it and just tipping it all over yourself. You'd be the happiest man in the world.
Well, see, for me, it's Champions League and an FA Cup. But in terms of domestic trophies, it's always FA Cup.
I love the Champions League. Champions League is what made me a football fan. You and Champions League is what really hardens my penis when it comes to football, because
Champions League's the greatest.
Newcastle,
the greatest competition in my eyes. And it kind of just, I don't know if this has been a Liverpool fan, because Liverpool fans don't really give a shit about international competitions. But in my eyes, the Champions League is the greatest football comp in the world. It's better than the World Cup.
I would argue it's the greatest competition of any sport, including internationals, in the world.
Yeah,
it is the most high pressure, high quality competition there is.
Well, I would argue that I mean, obviously Euros and World Cup are very high pressure too, but
yeah, they're very high pressure. But the point being, the Champions League, you're with your mates every day for years. Some of those blokes, where the internationals, you see them 4 times a year, and then you see them for 3 months when it comes to the World Cup. It's sort of like, I don't know. You can.
There's just something special.
I would rather
the music,
win a Champions League.
The
I love the music. I love that they've got an anthem. It's got its own like national anthem. I love it.
Yeah, it's incredible. When you see your team standing there on the pitch before the game and that anthem goes off, that's goosebumps, mate.
I'll be dead. I'll be dead before I ever see mine, so that's fine.
Well, you never know. You get Brucey out, who knows? So FA Cup, you've got United. I've got Chelsea. Now,
absolutely.
The reason why I've got Chelsea, I don't know if they're
They're
gonna.
against
I don't
Chelsea.
know if they're gonna do it this year in terms of winning the Prem. Now they've just signed
They've got
Lukaku,
Romelu.
so that's changed
That's
my
a
opinion.
big signing,
It's a
man.
very big signing. Changed my opinion a little bit, but I've definitely got them. I had them as a lock before they had Lukaku for the FA Cup, so now they've got him. It just cements my position.
He
Anyway.
was good for United, Lukaku, wasn't he? Like, I know he wasn't a world beater, but he was decent.
So he got a lot.
And he's
of
played
stick.
in England before.
He got a lot of
so-
stick when he was at United because they used to give him crap about having a real heavy touch, and he'd get the ball, and he had a kind of, he was kind of prolific, but then he had a bad time, if that kind of makes sense. He wasn't really, he didn't set the ground a lot, but he was a decent striker. He moved to Inter because he kind of fell out with a few people and stuff like that. He kind of needed
like
to rejuvenate his career.
I really like him. His
into-
head is perfectly shaped like a Malteser.
He's awesome, mate. He's got pace, he's got power, he's got a boot, he's a weapon. He's still young.
Malteser for
still-
a head. Real young.
does have a
strong.
Malteser for a head,
And
that's
he's monstrous. He's really monstrous. Like, he's a big presence on the field.
Yeah, and he's quite quick too. So I think
He's
it's a great
very
buy.
zippy.
I think it's a great buy for them. I mean, I think they wanted Haaland, but Haaland was 150 million, and they just didn't
Yeah, they
want
wanted
to throw it
147 million or something.
away. Yeah, and look, he's
For a
good.
Massive Norwegian that runs around on his tippy toes after he scores penalties is a maniac.
And shout to people's face.
He's a mad dude.
I mean,
I'd
he's
love to
crazy,
sign that
and
big bastard.
I would have loved to see
He's
him in
a
the
mad
Premier League. But
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, so I think Chelsea will win the FA Cup, and I think they'll be pretty good this year. But yeah, so that's my cup predictions. We've got Champions League and Europa
Hit me with your
League.
10 to 6.
Oh, you
Hit
want
me
your
with your 10 to 6.
10 to 6. So
Yeah, I want your 10 to 6.
we have Everton at 10, as I said before. And then 9 to 6, I've got West Ham, as I was saying, in 9th, because I still think they'll be all right, but they'll finish just out. I got Leeds in 8th, because I think Leeds are solid. I think Bielsa's a maniac, and they play
He's a man.
they play really aggressive football, and that's going to get you a lot of wins against the lower half of the teams, maybe.
Absolutely.
And it will probably shock a
What a
couple of teams.
counter-attack.
Yeah, in saying that, you will lose a lot of teams, lose a lot of games,
Oh,
because
shit, yeah.
you're going to be carved
You get
apart.
pumped. I reckon they're going to be in a lot of like 4-3,
Absolutely.
5-3.
They were that last year.
A lot of them.
They were there
Yeah,
last
a lot of them. They're exciting to watch.
They're exciting. They'll win games. I got them in 8th. I think they'll just miss out maybe on a spot.
Yeah, I think it's a great call.
Yeah. And then I've got Tottenham in 7th. And then I've got Arsenal 6th. So recap that. 10, Everton. West Ham 9. Leeds 8. Tottenham 7. Arsenal 6. So Tottenham and Arsenal are
We're
going to be my
similar.
2 spots for the Europa
We're
League.
similar.
Tottenham obviously
I've
in the
got-
Conference League now. Let's not forget that. Conference League,
What a
I
shit
say.
league. What a shit league.
Well, it's basically like we don't have, we can't put you anywhere else. So we'll create
It's
another
the we feel
league.
sorry for you league.
for
We feel sorry
trying.
for you and let's get some money league. It's a load
Yeah.
of shit.
Yeah, Conference League. I mean, it's just another way for UEFA to make money. It's just they've created another league, and they're just making money off teams. That's all they do. They don't give a crap. I mean, Tottenham going to play in another comp that means nothing. That's going to have hardly any good teams in there, and they're going to have to travel.
I agree.
And they're already, they're in a mess to begin with. So I can't see them finishing any better than 7th. Arsenal in 6th,
got 'em
because I
up a little
still
bit.
think that they've still got some issues, Arsenal, and I'm not convinced on Arteta yet. Ben White's all right.
I would argue that Arsenal are the biggest disappointment in world football in the past 5 years.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it and how you value disappointment. Because, like, if you're a Man United fan, you've been used to winning titles every single year. And the minute that Fergie's gone, they haven't been anywhere near what they would class as being their best. And they finished second last year, but they were still miles off City. So it just depends on what you value. I mean, I would say Arsenal's a disappointment because they just keep continuing to make the same bad decisions ever since Wenger's gone. I don't know if they should have got rid of Unai Emery. I think Unai Emery was 10 times better than Arteta. I mean, Emery leaves Arsenal and goes and wins another Europa League for bloody Villarreal and beats Man United. Like, so there's just so much happening at Arsenal.
He's a
They're a
mad
club in turmoil. And they're trying to find their feet again, but I just don't think they're going to finish anywhere near the top 5.
I'll give you my 10 to 6 because it's
Yeah,
very, very
what do you
similar.
got?
Very similar. I've got Leeds at 10. I've got the Wolves at 9, but I think that could change drastically, man, because I think they might shit the bed a bit and I think they might drop, but I'll keep them there for now. Everton at 8. Arsenal at 7 in the old left-out league, whatever they're calling it. And I got Leicester in at 6.
Leicester at 6?
I've got Leicester at 6.
So that means you have
like
Tottenham in the top 5.
Yeah. Yes, I do. I do have Tottenham in the top 5 because I have a soft spot for them, even though I hate them secretly. But I have a soft spot for them after watching that all for one, or whatever the hell it was called on Prime. It made me like them. They got a cool stadium. I hate Dele Alli because he's a crybaby. But some of the other players I really liked. They're probably not even there anymore. But I've got them. Well, I've got Tottenham at 5. That's where I've got Tottenham.
Leicester at 6. Explain.
I got Leicester at 6. Well, I think Leicester, although they're good, right, real good, I just think they're a bit of a myth. They don't really do anything for me. If Maddison goes to Arsenal, well, they've got no real...
Game over.
Number 10. They've got no real punch. They've got no real vision without him. Although they've got other good players, they've lost so many great players in the past couple of years, so I just can't see them hanging around.
Valid. I've got them in 5th above Arsenal, Tottenham, because I think those two teams are completely in turmoil and they don't know where they're going. They don't really have an identity. Whereas Leicester, at least under Rodgers, there's a bit of structure. They just won the Community Shield, which is kind of a fucking nothing trophy anyway. But they've just got a bit of structure about them. They've got a young team. They haven't lost anyone yet. Tillemans and Maddison are still there.
We put 5 on them last year. Newcastle put 5 on them. For God's sake.
Yeah, look, I mean, they have their moments because Brendan Rodgers he has no defensive tactics in him. He can't defend to save his life, right? That's talking from experience. We would have won the league in 2013 if he just knew how to fucking defend. Anyway,
that's valid.
But yeah, so they will lose games and they will lose the games by a lot. But I think they're good enough with Jamie Vardy.
He's old. I'm certain he's old now. Like he's early 30s, like 32.
He's in his 30s. That's.
But he's quick. I know he's zippy. He's got a lot of guts. That bloke. He never stops.
Well, it's because
I think it depends on Maddison. If Maddison goes,
Red Bulls and vodkas, mate. That's why.
Yeah, that's right. And probably a packet of Winnie Reds, just punching darts flat. The old Brett Mullins bloody treatment.
He is
bourbon and coke, and a packet of smokes after a game.
Yeah, he is the type of bloke that just. I reckon in training he'd be nothing. He's just a game day dog. Yeah. Like he'd turn up. Yeah. Let's go.
Like Joey Johns. Joey Johns hated training.
5 Red Bulls, mate. Let's go. He's a weapon.
Right, well then, give me a prediction of who's going to win the Europa League, because I'm going to contradict myself here with what I'm about to tell you, because I think Leicester's going to win the Europa League, and that's why I think they're going to drop to 6 in the Prem.
So you think because they're going to win the Europa League, you think their efforts are going to fall a bit?
I think they're going to go gangbusters. I reckon they're going to go all in to win the Europa League because it's prestigious.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. Anybody that talks the Europa League are teams that are bitter, and that. So, for example, if Man United won the Europa League, I would have been like, you won the Europa League. It's not that big of a deal because I don't want Man United to win anything, right? So it's only people that say, when they win something, it's your rivals and you don't want to admit that it's an actual prestigious trophy. It's
I think Europa League's prestigious. This new left, right, out comp that they've
conference
that Tottenham's going to be in,
it's
a load of shit.
Yeah,
it's just for sore losers. But the Europa League, I reckon Leicester are going to go gangbusters in it. They're going to try throw the bloody book at it, and it wouldn't be surprising if they even slipped further to me in the Prem because they went so hard at it and they got a bit.
Well, yeah, that's true, but then you've also got to remember Arsenal are in the Europa League, so
that's true. But I don't rate them. I don't know why. I don't like anything about Arsenal, and it's not like it probably goes back to like one of my mates when. The first time I ever played FIFA was the one that had Alan Shearer on the front, and he's an Arsenal fan, and I used to play him, and he would be Arsenal, and I hated their jerseys.
Yeah,
and that's the only reason I don't like it. I don't know. They just seem like stuck-up pricks to me for some reason.
So Arsenal aren't in the Europa League this year. I got myself confused. So it's Leicester, Tottenham. Leicester, Tottenham are in the Europa League.
Yeah, well there you go. Right. Who do you reckon's going to win it? Who's your call?
For Europa League?
Yes. Who's going to win the whole thing?
I've got
You're not
Napoli.
Italian.
I'm trying to think of European teams. I don't know if an English team will win.
Get little Insigne in there, flinging them off the right boot.
That's right. I don't know.
He's a madman. I love him.
He is a madman. I mean,
he had the best fade I've ever seen, like haircut, in the Euro semi-final. His haircut was immaculate. Immaculate.
But all Italians.
But he's a little fella. Real dark too, like tan as. He must be from the mountains. Napoli. I think that's a good call. Have they still got that Victor Osimhen or whatever up top?
Yes, they do. They do.
He's a weapon. He is a weapon.
I'm just looking. I'm going through the teams of who's in the Europa League, and you got to think it's not the elite of the elite. So
No.
Napoli is still a good team.
They're still good.
They still got
play
Mertens. Yeah, they still got Koulibaly. There's still some good players
Andres.
there. Yes.
Mertens.
Yes. So not a bad team. That's my pick, Napoli. I think Napoli will win that.
I think that's a good call. That's a very fair call. I don't think you can.
But before we get into the top four, we've got the top goal scorers to pick about. So
for the whole for the Prem,
I had my choice, but now I think that's going to change. So I was going off the cuff. Now I still think Salah's going to score a ridiculous amount. I still think Kane was still a ridiculous amount. But I was actually going to say Timo Werner. I was going for the off the cuff pick, right? But now
I love Timo Werner.
Now they've signed Lukaku. Is he going to play? I'm not so sure.
Timo's gone. Timo's going to go back to Germany.
Well, I mean,
there's no way.
It depends. They might play him,
or
they might play him off the left.
Where he used to play.
Yeah, they play him off the left.
Good out there, but
he's got a lot of pace.
He's zippy, and you know what? He's got a fair bit of vision on him too. The young fella, like he knows what he's doing. He's not garbage.
So in that case, without Werner being up top, I'm going to go with Salah again. I think he's just so consistent. What he's done over the last 3-4 years, he's the most disrespected player in the fucking world.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He doesn't get the plaudits he does. The amount of goals he scored,
I agree.
It's phenomenal. So I'm going to go with him again because he'll do it. He'll score 20 goals again, and he'll be close to first or second. So I'll put him as being top goal scorer.
Mo Salah, I reckon this year's top goal scorer. I'm going Lukaku. I reckon Lukaku is going to come out. Remember when that Spanish bloke played for Chelsea a couple of years ago, Diego
Costa,
and he come out and he scored like 11 goals in the first 4 games.
Yeah.
I reckon Lukaku's going to do something similar, but he's just going to go on with it. I reckon Lukaku's going to score 27 goals for Chelsea this year.
You reckon?
Yeah, I'm going gangbusters on him. I reckon he's going to have the shits after the Euros. I reckon he's going to have a point to prove that he's back in the Prem. I reckon he's got a weapon midfield behind him. A weapon midfield, just feeding him balls all day.
Look at the world's greatest player, mate.
N'Golo, Conte. Just feeding big Romelu up top, and it's going to be 27. What do you reckon Mo will get? I reckon 27 for Romelu.
27 is a pretty good number. I mean, like if you're getting above 27, you're having a really good year.
Oh, you're having a year.
I think
you're
Mo
almost having a Shearer type year.
Yeah, I think Mo will probably get 26.
That's a good call.
I think he'll get 26, and I think he'll be top goal scorer. But I'm not going to completely dismiss that Lukaku could win it, because you're right. He's going to come into this league. He's better than what he was when he left. So when he left, he's gone to Inter. Fitter. Yeah, he's gone to Inter. He's won a title there now. He's played under Conte.
Yep.
So he's going to be a better player. He was good for Belgium. It wasn't his fault they went out. And yeah, you're right. He's going to bang on a lot of goals. I think Chelsea under Tuchel are going to be very, very good.
So do I. I agree.
They scare me. They scare me more than any team, because I just feel Man U. I'm still not sold on them. Their midfield's like fucking. It's like a jelly bean. It's soft as fuck. And then
hop, skip, and a finance.
That's right. And then you got Man City, who can be really good, but you just don't know what you're going to get for Pep. Last year they were fantastic, but they were great because we were so bad. And the year before they were terrible. So I don't know. I'm not sold on City, but Chelsea.
Give me your top 4 then. Give me your top 4. What order are they
I'll go
coming
through
in?
it, and I'll explain individually each team and why I think they're going to finish in that.
Because obviously our top 4s are very, very similar, just changed around a little bit.
So I'll go from 4 down.
Yeah.
Actually, you hit me with your 4 because I feel like I got a little.
I've
bit
got
more
United.
explained.
I've got Man U at 4th. I've got United at 4. I've got them. I can't really see them pushing up to second again. I don't think they're going to be that good. Even though they've got Sancho, which is a great signing, but he's a kid. He was playing in Germany. There's something exciting about. I don't know what it is. It's something exciting when an English player leaves England and plays elsewhere when they're young.
Yeah, you're right.
I think they get overhyped. They get
They
get overpumped. Like Sancho was great, but look at the Dortmund side he was playing in. They were pretty fucking good. So, I don't think Sancho's going to have a big as an impact as Lukaku's going to have at Chelsea.
I can agree with that.
I think Rashford will have a point to prove after barely playing in the Euros and missing that penalty. I reckon Varane could be a game changer. If Varane does go,
I
still can't see him above Liverpool, City, or Chelsea though. So I think a solid 4th for them. Definitely a Champions League spot.
Yeah, and I would agree. I've got them in 4th.
Yeah, if Pogba goes, then whatever. They just Bruno Fernandes. He annoys me, and I can't like him for some reason. I don't know what it is about the guy, but I think he looks like a crybaby, and I can't like United when he's there. I don't like United anyway because you hate them. So,
well, I mean, you know my feelings, obviously, clearly.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he's good.
It's despise.
He's good in the final third. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, majority's got. I mean, you got to talk about the penalties. Majority's goals are penalties.
Yeah.
Yes, he sets up a lot of chances. He creates a lot of chances, but he does nothing, and I mean nothing, on the defensive side of the game. Like I've watched so many games where he does
turns
not
his back to the
back,
ball,
and he's. Every time he goes down to the ground, he's throwing his arms up in the air. I think he's extremely talented, but I think he's lazy. And in a midfield, when you're in front of that 2, and the 2 that they've got in Fred and McTominay, and obviously they rotate Pogba in that, and then who's behind that? Matic. I mean, that midfield's not scaring anybody. So
no,
I just think.
But then you look at like Chelsea's midfield, Conte, Jorginho,
exactly. I
Mount.
Think games are won.
Good.
Big games, like I've said to you so many times before off this podcast, massive games are won in the midfield. They are won in midfield.
That's why Italy beat England, because
exactly.
the midfielders
the midfield is what wins you games. You can have a great defence, and United's defence admittedly is pretty good. Maguire's not bad. Luke Shaw's had a great year. Wan-Bissaka's good, and Varane.
Luke Shaw has got to be like comeback player of the century.
Definitely most improved player. Yeah, he's turned his career around like nobody's business.
He looks like he can fight. Like he looks like he could like street fight that bloke. He's got a street fighter's head.
He's a tough bloke. But it's just the old Mourinho curse, mate. Like some players don't make it under Mourinho. It's weird. He has this.
True.
It's just strange what he does. But so that their back four is pretty good. Like and adding Varane to that, they're going to be good. And going forward,
do they play Tellez on the left, or do they play Shaw?
No, it'll be Shaw. Shaw played all last year. If they were going to play Tellez,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Tellez is just a bit of.
He'll just be back. Yeah, he'll just be back up, and he'll play Champions League games and cups and stuff like that. And he'll play the odd Premier League game, I'd imagine. But yeah, they're good going forward. Rashford, Greenwood's very young inside play. He's awesome. Young. I think he has
got the worst FIFA character model I've ever seen. He looks horrendous.
Don't you hate it when they don't nail it? It's just like this terrible face.
Like, nail it. It's gone the opposite way. He looks awful, dreadful. They better sort that poor.
And that's why, like the little. That's like
I'd be calling the police.
My little thing in FIFA is that like I need faces, real faces, otherwise I get the shits.
I won't sign people unless I got a real face. It's ridiculous.
I know.
All right.
So yeah, I think they're great forward, and I think they're great at the back. But I just think in the midfield they're a bit like a marshmallow, so they might get ran over.
I agree.
So I've got them in fourth. But who's your third?
So do I. You're gonna hate me, but I've got Liverpool in 3, and this is
discuss, please.
I
need a detailed explanation.
2 and 3 are interchangeable for me, which is Liverpool, and my number 2 is Chelsea. But
you've got City winning it, mate.
I do have City winning it. Yeah, I've got City winning it. I've got City winning it on 89 points. But
it's not an incredible total, but it's still decent.
Liverpool, I can't see anyone getting close to 100 again for another 5 or 6 years. It's too hard. But I think with all the players coming back, and I know you know what to do, I just think it's going to take one more year. I think you'll win it next year. I think it'll. When is Klopp's last year? This year? Is it next year or the year after?
He's got 2 more seasons, so
I reckon he's going to win it next year because everybody will be absolutely. I know that there's a lot of injuries coming back, but that's a lot of game time out of the legs. And like we spoke about before, I think there was so many injuries because they were run to the ground because you just won everything.
Well, that is always the topic and discussion, isn't it?
They're going to get this year. They're going to. You won't lose by much. I reckon the top 3, it'll be 3 points or 4 points within it. Like if City win on 89, I reckon he'll be like on 85. I can't see us being far back. But I think next year Liverpool will win it when they've got all of the fitness back in the legs. Everyone's sort of back on the same page again. You'll do very well, but I just can't see us winning it.
That's fair point.
Rebuttal.
I mean, it's fair. I'll talk about the reasons why I think you're wrong, but that's fair. So you've got Chelsea second and then City first. So why is City winning it?
Oh, I just can't see them being beaten, man. I don't know. They make me sick. Like, they're good. I hate their jerseys, that weird powder blue. But they're across the park, every position, they're stacked. So they're 1 to 11, all world class, and then let's just say they're 12 to 22, could start in every other fucking team in the competition. Still, like, they are stacked.
Absolutely,
every position. They're just everywhere you look.
Definitely unfair. And he's pretty much
unfair as hell. Like, if you can throw 100 million at Grealish, you're kidding yourselves.
I think with Grealish, he spent $1 billion. His time, Pep has spent $1 billion. I'm fairly certain he spent $1 billion now.
How many times he won it? 2, 3?
I think he's won the Premiership 3 times.
I love it. I love it. They haven't won a Champions League though.
Well, yeah, I mean,
sort of like,
it doesn't matter how much you spend. Sometimes it's not going to win you a Champions League. He didn't win one at Bayern. So I mean, the argument can be made that he only won the Champions League at Barca because he.
If you spend $1 billion, you want to be winning the quaddie. Like, surely, like, if you spend $1 billion, you want to be going Champo, Prem, Carabao, FA in one season with you in your tenure.
They had a chance to do that one year, but then they bottled it against Tottenham the year that we won it. That was their chance.
Yeah, they shit the bed.
But yeah, look, you make some fair points, and they have talent everywhere, and they can just interchange everything. But I have them.
One comes out, the next one comes in.
Yep, you're right, and
you know, in sports, right, they always have this next man up mentality, which I think is a load of bullshit. Because if it really was true, then everyone would be on the same money, right? Next man up does not exist. I can't stand when people say that. So, but in Man City's case, it's legit. Well, like, you look at, I'll just go to rugby league for example, right? Next man up, right? So if the mighty Knights lose Kalen Ponga, who's a $1 million player for us, right? And we put Tex Hoy in, who's on 300,000. It's not next man up. He's a $700,000 a year less player. I hate how they say next man up, but in Man City's case, it's a legitimate thing you can say because they're all exactly the same level of talent as one another. It's fucked.
They are stacked, but see, it's why I'm confusing. Like, how did none of these players get the shits and want to leave? Like, they're just all happy to sit on the bench,
money hungry,
they earn their money and earn their titles and just get their medals. That's all they care about. Exactly. They don't give a shit about playing because if they wanted to play, they wouldn't play there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right. If they wanted to play, they'd go anywhere else.
That's right. Play. So I'll go through my top 4. And it's a bit different to yours.
Hit me with your best shot.
So I've got Chelsea in 3rd.
Yeah.
Because I think, like I said, I think they're better than Man U, and I think they'll be really good. I've got City in 2nd.
I agree.
Just better than Chelsea, and then I've got Liverpool finishing 1st. No surprise there. But here's the reason why I've got them finishing 1st, and I've got them finishing 1st on 83 points, which is a lot lower than yours. I think it's going to be a low points year to win the title this year because I think those top 4 teams are all going to be good, and I think they'll take points off each other. But the reason why I think Liverpool will win, and I think that will come back and shock a lot of people, is because not only with all these players coming back, they're going to have a point to prove. So Van Dijk didn't play a whole year. Joe Gomez didn't play a whole year. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder to want to prove everybody, nah, we're the real deal. Like, and you only won this league because we didn't play this year, right? And then I can add some more things into it. We obviously got Matip, he's back, and Kanate, who's a big signing.
That's a big signing, man. He's young, but he's a big signing.
I think he'll play game 1. I don't think Van Dijk or Gomez will play round 1, but I think it would be Kanate and Matip just to get their legs back in. But then
those 4 will just genuinely rotate all year to save the legs. I think they're just going to genuinely rotate.
If they play it smart, they'll do that. Yeah, that'll be a smarter way to do it. Especially the injuries that Van Dijk and Gomez have had. You don't want to.
And I don't think
rush them through.
I don't picture Van Dijk and Gomez as being selfish players. I think they're very team-oriented players, and I won't care if they get.
Look, Van Dijk's going to play majority of the game. I think that, but he will rest a lot. He will rest.
But as he should, though, because he's got nothing to prove. And when he's at his best, he's got to be at his peak fitness.
No, he's the best centre-back in the world. There's no doubt about that. There's no argument there. I agree with that. But then, I'll go through the team. Thiago's had a full season under his belt.
If you get Saul, that's a game changer too.
That's right, if we get him. But, it just depends. Diogo Jota's had a full season under his belt. Harvey Elliott's come back off loan. He looks like he's going to be a really good upcoming player. So he'll get some time. But having that midfield that had to play so much of the season last year at centre-back.
Yeah.
Fabinho and Henderson and Thiago being able to play in the middle of the park for a large majority of the season, I think is so massive for us because it puts...
Henderson's your most important player.
Absolutely. Him and Van Dijk.
He's not the most skillful, but he is the most important.
I think Van Dijk's the most important because clearly you could see what happened when we didn't have Van Dijk, but Henderson is equally as important, I would agree.
He's so good off the ball to help his teammates.
Well, and I just think that we lost 7 games at home last year. So if you convert 6 of them, so even if we lose 1, if you convert 6 of them into wins, which I think isn't exactly out of the realms of possibility with our team.
No, I agree with that.
6 times 3 is 18.
You lost to some bludgers at home too.
Exactly. 6 times 3 is 18. So then 18 on top of what we got last year, we would have won the league. Now, I know that's hindsight and that's if, buts, and maybes. But my point is, I think that Van Dijk, Gomez, and the players being back in the midfield can get you another 18 to 20 points. And if they do that, then they're going to be very, very close. The only thing I worry about for us is that if one of those go down, that's not really a concern because of the defence, but it's one of the midfielders because we haven't replaced Wijnaldum yet. And you've got to get... He played 51 games last year. You've got to get 51 games out of James Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, who apparently is now being retrained into a false 9. Naby Keita, yes.
Not.
Yes, I'll talk about that in a minute. Naby Keita and then Curtis Jones. So you've got to get 51 games out of those 3 or 4. And look, I don't know if you
Chamberlain is not a false 9.
I'm telling you, from the reports,
Jurgen's losing his mind.
From the reports and training, he's being trained in that position.
Is Jurgen drunk?
To be able to compliment Firmino, but I don't understand
Jurgen
why.
Is drunk
because Diogo Jota could play there, so I don't understand why he's doing that. But anyway, that's the reports. Whether or not that's true,
God, Jurgen, what are you up to?
Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But that's what I've heard. But crazy if it is. But so that's who I've got winning. So I got to go through it all again. Bit of a recap: Watford, Brentford, Burnley, Norwich, Brighton, Newcastle, the Mighty Magpies in 15th. Your team, they're surviving, mate. Don't worry.
It makes me happy, but I've got no faith. It makes me happy.
Palace, Wolves, Southampton, Villa, Everton to round out that bottom half of the table. Top half, West Ham, Leeds, Tottenham, Arsenal, Leicester, the scum in 4th, Chelsea, Man City, and then the Reds to win the title, to win the 20th. First one.
I have got to ask you a couple of questions real quickly.
Yes, hit me.
Just quick ones here. Who's going to win the Champions League?
Yes.
I am going Old Faithful Bayern.
It's not a bad decision with that good manager they got now, Nagelsmann.
They've got Nagelsmann. I think they're gonna go gangbusters again. They got disappointed last year. And the second thing, we'll talk about a few more things, but I want to know who is your surprise player of the year and surprise team of the year, good and bad.
Okay, so I'll answer that first one. We'll go back to the Champions League. So Champions League for me, I had PSG written up before they signed, before they even get Messi. If they get Messi, shut the gate. It's not even a competition. It's done. It's over.
You should change his name to Jesus. Jesus Messi.
Well, he looks like it. But yeah, seriously, and also I had them winning it. I thought that I know Pochettino balls us up fucking trophies and is a failure, but with that team, they've added so much quality. I think they're going to be very, very hard. And with Mbappe up front, you're going to win a lot of stuff. And now, if they add Messi, forget about it. So I've got PSG winning it.
That's a great call.
So, surprise team of the year. Is that what you asked me before?
I want to know who surprise team and player.
Okay, so So for player,
Yep.
I'm gonna go. I had some others in mind, but I mean, now that they've signed him, and it's not really a surprise. I mean, I would have went Leon Bailey because I think he's going to be very, very good for Villa.
He's mine.
He is good, but it's not a surprise pick, this person, but because he's coming back into the league, I just think Lukaku's going to absolutely blow this league apart.
Yeah.
I really do.
I don't think that's a surprise, though.
It's not a surprise.
I think he's going to be a standout, and he's going to be a top goal scorer, but I don't think he's going to surprise
Okay, well,
everyone.
another
Everyone knows
surprise player that because of Lukaku, I'll say Werner. Because I think that Werner will go.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Will play a lot better because the pressure is now off him. He's now not the number 9.
Most improved or something like that.
I think he'll be very improved, and I think that he's not. He doesn't have the pressure on him. I think Kai Havertz is going to be.
Still got
Havertz.
I forgot they had Havertz.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, they are stacked.
I'd even put Havertz as most improved. I thought he played very, very well in the Euros, and he had a good Champions League. Well. Obviously scored the goal to win it. So I'll say Havertz.
You see the thing where he does that like weird bird thing where he's sitting there and someone says something to him. He makes like this bird action. He looks ridiculous. I mean, I realised he's 21. You can do whatever you want when you got.
He's maniac. 21 earning £100,000 a week. I mean, do what you want, mate.
I reckon the Jamaican Leon Bailey coming from. I think he's from Leverkusen. I'm pretty sure. I think he's going to be exciting.
We're interested in him.
Spark. So. I think he's gonna. He'll probably have like 15 goal contributions. I reckon, but I just think he might be one to watch this year.
It's a good pick, mate. I think obviously he's going to have a lot of the limelight now that Grealish is gone, and I'm quite surprised he even went to Villa because like he's a really good player.
Yep.
And he could stand out. That's a good chat.
He's my one.
Surprise team.
Surprise team, and actually give me your surprise team, good team, and give me the one who you think's just going to go dog shit.
So I think that am I going for Premiership here or?
Yeah, Prem.
So in the Prem, I think that a surprise team that will be better than what most people think, and that will have a relatively really good year, is I'm going to go Leeds. I think Leeds will just shock a lot of.
That's a great call.
A lot of people because I think that they're just so exciting to watch. I think Phillips in the middle, he's a great player.
Yep.
Bielsa's a great coach. And I just think that Leeds will be my surprise team to shock people. I think they'll be better than what people think they will be, and I think the team that will be worse than what maybe people are expecting, and some teams have got so other teams are thinking that they're going to do well, is Everton. I don't think Everton are going to do good under Benitez, and I rate Rafa. I really do. I love Rafa, but I'm not sure that he was a good signing for them. He's very defensive minded. And he may shore them up a little bit, but I think they're going to be worse than what they have anticipated that they would, because they would want to be pushing for Europa League, especially with the money that they got. And I don't think they're going to come anywhere near it. I think they'll be 10th, like I've got them in 10th, and they may even be lower. Who knows? I don't think they'll be very good. I'm not saying Benitez is done, but ever since he's left Liverpool, he hasn't really done anything. Now, granted, like he was the last team he was at was Newcastle, but I mean,
I think we sacked him for no reason. He brought us up from the Championship.
They definitely should.
They gave him no money, and they sacked the poor bastard. He's the best manager we've had in 20 years.
Now he definitely does.
And Mike Ashley, the dead shit, sacks him.
He does great on shoestring budgets. That's a certainty. He does great with limited money, but Everton just need a lot. They need a lot of investment. And
absolutely,
I'm not entirely sure they're going to do as good as what they thought. So they're my two teams. Leeds to be the shock standout, Everton to be pretty useless.
I reckon my team that'll shock people in a good way, even though I've got them coming 17th, but I think Norwich will be exciting to watch. I think they're gonna stay up. I think they're gonna impress people. I think they're gonna be pretty good to watch. They'll be flashing yellow running down the sidelines. They're going to be in games, aren't they? They're going to be in games. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And they're going to not shock people, but they're going to impress people, I think, more than what they expect. And my disappointment, even though I've got them in 7th, I've just got Arsenal. They just disappoint everybody all the time.
They're very flat.
They're just flat. There's nothing exciting about them. They just don't have any. Yeah, they got Pierre-Emerick, the king of Gabon, but still. Big whoop.
King of
He's
Gabon.
the king of Gabon. He's not the Pierre he was when he was at Dortmund.
No, he definitely isn't. I mean, he's not even the player he was a couple of years ago. I mean, he won the Golden Boot a couple of years ago, but he's gone flat. He has gone. I mean, he's into his 30s now. Yeah, you're right. Arsenal are just flat. They don't excite you. They haven't really signed anyone that's really getting you out of your seat. Ben White doesn't get you out of your seat. He makes them a little bit better, but he doesn't make them that much
James
better.
Maddison may help, but they've still got Odegaard. So, like...
Well, no, Odegaard's technically back at Madrid now.
Oh, he's gone.
He was on loan.
So Maddison will probably be trying to replace him then.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that's good.
They're going to get rid of Reece Nelson. Yeah. I'm happy. How good. Well,
so that's Premiership done, mate.